done. Special. Good morning. Hold on. Let's get ambiance. Let's do some ambiance. We haven't done ambiance in a while. All right. Do we have ambiance? Oh, who's got ambiance? We do. Who's got ambiance and two thumbs? This guy. All right, let's do this. You have a lot going on today, like a lot. And let's get to it. I'm going to try to do the blue light glasses again. Let's see how this goes. No one gets my sense of humor. And I'm really funny. You know who's not funny? People, I guess, that have to tell people that they're funny. I guess that's probably a sign that I'm not funny. All right. But I think I'm hysterical. And I think that's really all that matters. But I think. That's what I tell myself anyway. Here's kind of the pickle. So if you take a look at the 4 hour right there. So you've broken. Now, if I try and clone this and I clone it and I drop that sucker up here, it's kind of there. It's not exact, but it's kind of there, right? So rising wedges end in what? They end in tiers, right? So I think that that's definitely important, but I think there's more to it. So if I clean this off and then we just drop it like it's hot right here on top of that, you do have a level that could hold. So you want to see if the top of that August 1st bar holds, right? So I think that that's really your bigger level. But again, you're rolling here and, you know, it's not ideal. I've seen ideal before. It doesn't look like this. And the breath is bad. And it's an issue. It's a pickle. So just understand it. And you're going to hear slurping today because this is a delicious cup of coffee. And I need the caffeine right now. I think that that's the way to look at this right now. I really do. And I don't think I'm getting too much glare back on the glasses. So I don't know. Maybe they make me look smarter. I'm sure they'll tell me in the room. But it's supposed to help with my eyesight. I think I look at screens way too much. I watched that Huberman video and he's like, oh, just take your eyes off the screen every 20 minutes and go sit outside for 5 minutes and stare outside. I'm like, okay, dude. Like, I got time for all that. I think there are your levels. I think that's how you should view it today. I mean, are there others? God, that's a great cup of coffee. Do you ever just have like a great cup of coffee? I think that that's really how you should view it today. I really do. That's how I would view it today. They're definitely walking you down, man. Hands down, they are definitely walking you down. Let's just drop this in here. And we'll drop this down here. And let's go to NQ. And clean this off. And I'll just show you this on the RSI. Okay. So like, that's not ideal, right? And you have the same exact pattern here. So, you know, you just want to be aware of it. And what I really don't dig here is if we use that same level, you're already cracking it. So someone decided that they're finally going to start buying NVO. That's good. I think that's how you should really view it. And you have the same channel, same everything. So I just think you have an issue here. And I'll clean this off. But if we drop that over, you can see it right from where that starts. So it's definitely a problem. They're definitely walking you down. And that area, it does look like you just tried to get over it and you're not able to. Say it. Look at it. So where does that lead? I mean, if you're going to fall off, I think that that's pretty realistic. You do have this area that you hit a couple times. I know people love listening to my mouse click, so I'm going to look for one that's actually even louder. And then you have like that kind of area down here that you should, kind of pay attention to, I think. But I think you could gap fill down to there. I don't think it's the end of the world either. I mean, it's not really like, oh no, we're down, 50 basis points. Okay. And I think they can keep walking you down. Do I think you can get down to the end of the here? Yeah. I think you have some real issues this week. I think, everybody seems to think that it's a slam dunk for Powell to cut interest rates. And I know that the PPI is one data point, but I'm not really sure how that's going to go, how that conference is going to go. People don't understand that Jackson Hole is where they talk theory and, he gives his real opinions at Jackson Hole. I don't know why it's that event that he feels the need that he can just be so open. I think he should feel that way all the time. But that's the event, man, where he looks at it and goes, yeah, it's on. Like, I can say what I want to say here. So if you go and look at Jackson Hole events, they're usually dumpster fires. Like, no one really goes, oh, like this event went so well for me. It's usually, this went pretty bad. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of where, my head is with it, but we'll see how that goes. If you look at the Qs, these are big levels. You have an 850 call wall up here. Just understand that you have that call wall and you've been respecting that, or 580 call wall. Sorry. Just understand that you have that level and you are respecting it. Like, you're trying, and you tried a couple times over and over again to get through that, but that's really it. And I don't know. I don't know that you're getting through it this week. I don't know who's going to commit that much capital without the catalyst right now. I would say that if you look back here on the 12th at the Qs, like, they did undercut that level and they did hold. So if you broke, you'd really want to hold that 572 level. I think that's a really big level. But if you crack here, you're going to want to know. So if you break 575.63, I really think you'd want to know that, pay attention to it. I definitely think that's an area of interest that you'd want to pay attention to. So I do. So, and go from there. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think what else I really want to go over. I don't think there's much to do here. I mean, we can see it, but I don't know if there's really much to do here. And you have all the sectors that are diversifying out. So I do think that's of interest. I mean, you could use that level. And then, of course, you'd have this up here. But you really have more of that, here you can see it where you're struggling. I think they're your bigger levels. And if you crack here, you have a problem. A blessing or a problem? A problem. What else do I think? I mean, there's a bunch of names to go over. I'm really surprised the NVO is not up a lot more than this. Maybe that's because of the ex-dividend. People didn't think they'd be buying it today. I'm not really sure. I'm flabbergasted that this RBLX is not down more. I don't get to say flabbergasted very often, but I'm freaking flabbergasted that it's not getting smoked. So I think that this is in a lot of trouble, like a lot. So I think that whole story is coming home to roost, and we'll see how that goes. But that's where my head is with it. But we'll see. you know, you never know with these kinds of stories, and if everybody's in it, how long it takes. It's a whole thing. But I think there's some real problems there. I'm going to take questions, a lot of them this morning, just because I think we should. We haven't done it in a while. What's up, John? So the T-bill auction, I do think I do think it's something, but I don't know if it's like the biggest thing I have to worry about today. Uh, I think the Google's fascinating. So I think that's the one where people are looking at and going, hey, it's cheap. But I don't know that those things are going to get out of their own way right now. And I'll just say that because keep looking at Microsoft and go, boy, oh boy, man, this thing can't even rally. Like I can't even rally a day. The biggest reversal was this day. I bought it this day because it hit the higher high. We hit this level. We kept holding. Like I'll show it to you. Like it was almost, to me, it was almost like perfect where it kept touching up. And so after it goes and makes the higher high, I'm like, well, that's it. We're going higher. And then it just had one nasty reversal. I entered the stop because when this stuff breaks, like it can get nasty. And you can see this, like this is getting pretty nasty. I don't think there's any doubt that eventually you're going to have to gap fill, but that's kind of got me a little concerned. I do own Google, but it's got me a little concerned about owning Google here. So I don't know. I think you have to be super. I think you have to be super careful here on some of this stuff. So I don't know that I'd be rushing into it right here. I want to see how this week goes. Amazon's, again, you came right to the same level and you rejected. So I don't have anything there. CELH, this thing always has some issue, and then all of a sudden everything's better, and then it rallies. I have no interest in playing this name. I mean, I wish people the best with it, but it's just too wild for me. I just don't know ever what I'm going to get here. Like, okay, it was bad, but it's actually not bad. It's good. And then we're going to hold that, that previous gap up. And then one day you'll just get some news and then it gets smoked. So it's not for me. It's not my kind of trade. I understand why people are playing it, but and seriously, from earnings, it's been a beast. And usually these kinds of names, when they do this, they've been on tears. It reminds me a lot of like looking at Reddit, how Reddit's acting, or it reminds me a lot of looking at what Oracle did when it came out with earnings, where it just kept going and going, and now you're leveling off. But yeah, there's definitely something to those kinds of patterns right now where they're ripping and then they continue to rip. So if you want to play it, I mean, I look at something like that and say, well, just play it super tight and just use the lower low, because you're not getting the lower lows on those moves. Like if you look at Reddit, you have not had a lower low since earnings. It's kind of crazy, but you think about August, you have not had one day where you've not even made a lower low, like not even closed a lower low. You haven't made a lower low. It's kind of nuts. So they definitely want to be in it. That's for sure. Hood, I saw that pullback. I think it's great what it's doing. The earnings was probably, that downward move was the chance to buy it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't really care for it right here. I don't think there's that much. Like it could keep grinding and going higher, but at that point, I start looking at like different names. Like, what do I care about it so much? If it was like trading super cheap or something, maybe, but it's not. So I'm just not as interested now. What else do we have here? I think the airlines are being grossly overlooked. They had this huge move. Oil's going to drop, so the airlines are going to go higher. I think it just makes sense that they all trade like they have one brain. So jets makes more sense to me. Alaska Air is the best. They have the best balance sheet out there, bar none. Like nobody has the balance sheet like they do. As far as the airlines, they have the best. Most levered is UAL. So UAL is the most levered out of them all. If you're looking for leverage, that means that it's going to move the most. It has the most, because it has the most debt and the way it's structured. So you have that. And then also you would have the other side of it. If you wanted to buy the best balance sheet, is that one. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them. I mean, it's the same trade, same superheated, right? You're just calling it a different name. So I don't know, man. I don't really see the sense in it that I have to do anything there. I don't really see it that way. I mean, they can work, but do I really want to do that? I don't know. I don't have an update there, Julian. I need an update. Oh, DDS, Jacob. He went from Japan. I'm waiting from Miami. I should go there. I've never been to Japan. People go, they love it. Then they come back here and they're like, what is this? But people absolutely love it there. 515. What do you have, earnings? Is that what's doing it? I don't know what's doing it. I'd have to know what's doing it. Maybe it's earnings and they were good. I don't know. I really don't have a clue. The heck is that noise? Don't tell me they dropped the camera. We lost the camera? Did we lose the camera? Is that what that noise was? Your browser has lost connection to the camera. What the heck for now? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Let me see if that fixed it. Nope, that's not going to fix it. All right, I'm not going to play with it. I don't know what the heck happened. Not a clue. All right. So let's just keep going here. 3 bill auction, Japan TDS. Let's go take a look at Dillard's again and see what we have. I mean, they absolutely crushed. I don't know. I mean, they crushed on Thursday. I'm not really sure why you're up so much today. But Thursday they absolutely crushed. So I'm not really sure why they're up so much today. I'm not really sure on that. So, let's see how it goes. But I'm not really sure on that. I wouldn't go near this with a 10-foot pole. I mean, I'm still short this thing. So, you can't get above the 55. You can't close over the 55. I don't know why you would do that to yourself. The amount of people that are interested in Hood is super interesting. I think you have some real issues here with these names. I know you guys love them. So I love them too. But, URA needs to hold here. NLR, they all need to hold, man. Or this gets nasty, like Janet Jackson nasty. And they all might come in hard. So I closed this. I was up $30 in it. I'm like, that's enough. That way that acted this day, and you shouldn't act like that. It's just nasty to do to people. It's like so nasty. Like Janet Jackson nasty. What do you want, John? What do you got for me? Oh, 8:30. Yay. Hold on 1 second here. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't put give me a second. I don't know why the concierge does not put the morning call in the room immediately after it's done. It makes me sad that he doesn't do that. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. It probably makes other people sad, too. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know, bro. I don't know, Julian, because I agree with you. Like I want to buy that, but I don't know, man. Um, I don't know. It's vexing me that these things can't rally. And what's starting to really bother me a lot is that we're losing the leading sectors. So, you know, that's becoming a problem for me. And I don't have a leading sector right now. So, like, I'm not going to, like, healthcare is not sexy. Like, everyone's not going to go, ooh, you know what we should do? We should go buy all these healthcare names. And I'm not knocking it. Like, I hope UNH does go higher. Now you're above the 55. I mean, I have a vested interest in this now. I have a small position in it, but that's very interesting to me that you held an institutional level, right? And it probably means that we're going higher and we're going to grind higher. And again, I don't usually need to be first. I just want to be right. So something like this, yeah, I say that, and I see the XLP like breaking out. I have all these things from before I was talking about, but here, look at this on the weekly. Like this is getting tighter. XLV, like these names, all of a sudden, people are looking at. I don't know, man. I need a leading sector. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be XBI? Is that finally setting up to break out and be the cat's pajamas? Do we start trading the LABU again? Like these are the thoughts that keep me up at night, right? And so I'm always trying to figure out, what's the next move or what's the next play. Yeah, it might be this. It might be that the LABU is going to start moving, that they're going to start buying those names again, because it makes sense if interest rates come down. But and I'm going off on this tangent because of what you brought up about LEU. If I start losing these guys, where do I go? Like, what's my leading sector? And I don't know that the trade's over. I'm going to be real clear about that. I feel like the trade is tired, and that's a big difference, right? So I think there'll be individual names out there like this thing's like just on fire this morning. Looks like somebody wants to dump. Or they dumped earlier, but hold on, let me show you this. So like, stuff like this today, you might want to go read the article that came out on this. But like, my God, I wouldn't want to be short this now. I shorted it on the secondary and I closed it. I'm going to do a video of all my stop outs live. I think it'd be funny because everyone always shows like their winners. So I'll just show every time I go, I'm out. It'd probably be like a greatest hits. So I would just stay away, dude. Let me just bring it back. Good morning from Phoenix. Good morning from Miami. Lily. I don't know what your hurry is to add here. That's how I look at it. What's my hurry? I don't say it. Right? I don't see my hurry here to add. I think you have to break out here. I think you really have to break out here. I wouldn't be in a hurry with these names either. I think they're the next ones that come in hard. I think crypto is going to come in hard, personally. But what do I know? Some days you are the banana. I think you have to think about this. The Linear Troy and the DHI. Like as soon as I saw Buffett buy those, I went crap because it makes so much sense, right? Like it makes so much sense to buy these. What I found fascinating was the response that people used that event to get out. I can't buy those. They could be control bars. Take a look at this. I'm overbought, man. So, and I get it. Like you could be overbought and then come back down and then hold the neutral line. Yeah, I got it. And I'm splitting hairs because that might only take me from 166 to 158. But when you find out that like one of the greatest value, and I always like tease people about it because I just love annoying people. But no matter what you say about Buffett, he's single-handedly one of the greatest value investors in the world. Like he's got to be like top 3, right? He's got to be up there. So I always look at that and go, man, like they're blowing out at his stuff, and his stuff's way overvalued because you're paying for the privilege of going, I'm with Warren, but man, I don't know. It's a pickle. You look at some of this stuff and I don't know. It makes me wonder. It does make me wonder. So I'm not chasing them. No, I'm certainly am not doing anything with those names unless they get destroyed ahead of Powell's speech. The ARK K I would watch. You know what else I would really watch? Because that could be a double top. I actually think this could be a double top. And I think you come all the way back down here. I'm very cautious right now because I have these setups. And when I have these setups, like this is just how I trade. Everyone should trade how they want, but this is what works for me. If my equity curve's doing this, I don't really like doing this. Like, I don't really like this part of the trading process. I like this part more than I like this part. So when I have like unfavorable conditions, when I see this stuff, my position size might change a little bit, very rarely, but I do less. And what I'm trying to do is get the equity curve at that point to be like this. And I'm more concerned about my drawdown and not losing what I worked so hard for. So when I have these kinds of things where I'm seeing this, my antenna goes up. Now, the one that I would watch wouldn't be that one. It'd be this one, which is the next gen stuff, which is clearly giving you a double top negative divergence signal, basically throwing up like a bat sign, right? And it makes me want to watch the QQQJ that is really leading right now. So how do I feel about this? Like, let me just walk you through this. I've owned this. I've owned this for years. I've done exceptionally well owning this. So all I do is I just wait. I wait for everybody to bash her. Because no one knows how to read it. No one does like a charter. No one knows how to read a charter anymore for whatever reason. But if you read the charter, you'd understand what she's doing. So they all just like going, oh, look what she did. That's what people sound like. It doesn't matter. She has a charter, so she has to follow the charter. But if you follow these areas where, you can have these kinds of pullbacks, and you also have like here, watch, but wait, there's more. And then like, you just kind of settle in and watch these areas. Like you'll see it. Oh, we broke out of it. Oh, we came back into it. Okay. So you're probably going to pull back, in my opinion, to this level right here, to like 68 or something like that. And I'll add to it again. It's just such an easy add because she's going to probably buy some of the same names that I'm in and just let her manage it. Right. And, the crazy thing is this is actually trading at closer to NAV than Berkshire Hathaway. But, what do I know? But I do think that you're setting up to come in. I really do think that. And it's definitely on my radar. It's definitely on my radar to see how this acts. And so is the ARKW. So, when you start seeing cracks, you just have to understand, especially if you've been doing it for a while, you have to realize that sometimes those cracks, they take a little bit to kick in. Thanks, John. So let's just keep that in mind. There she is. Happy Monday, Lisa. Yay. Morning, Ed. Dublin. Happy Monday. 2 happy Mondays. What do I think? I don't know, man. This thing's a pain. It's just such a pain. It's like, oh, we're going to crack. Not today. I think he's got a lot of problems on his hands. And I have the over under that he won't have 5 taxis, robo taxis up and running before the end of the year, 24/7. All I keep hearing about is the geofence is getting bigger in Austin. Like, bro, stop. You sound ridiculous. Like people send me these tweets from these guys. Like, you sound ridiculous. The geofence is getting bigger. Okay. How much money am I making off that geofence? You don't understand. No, I understand perfectly well. Right. And the other thing, like, The robo-taxi side of this thing that gets me, I'm just going to say it, they just got sued and they lost. So they're liable. Like, I don't think it's ridiculous that they should be liable for their product if their product doesn't work the way that they say their product's going to work. I mean, that seems reasonable. How many people are going to turn their robo-taxis into, or cars are going to turn their robo-taxis into robo-taxis if they're liable for what happens to that robo-taxi and it hurts somebody? Like, people are not thinking this through. I think we are way further away from full, like, driverless stuff like this. And maybe in inner cities where you would just get out of the car and you're not going to get, it's not going to be that big of a deal. And I think that someone like Amazon has a huge lead on them for what Amazon's doing with that Zeus, I think is what it's called. I think that they have it going on. So that's longer term. The more I look at that stuff, that makes so much sense to me. If you go look at what they're doing in Vegas, it just makes so much more sense than what he's trying to do here. I would never bet against the guy because I'm going to lose. The question is, does it happen now or does it happen when the stock's at 90? And I personally, I think there's a lot of issues here. From a short-term trading perspective, I mean, this is your range, and all they're doing is trying to lure people in, and then they're just selling to them. My larger problem here from a trading perspective is that you are holding this level over and over again. No matter how many times you break that 50, man, you're holding it. So if I go to a shorter time frame, and I've done well using this shorter time frame to have a bias. So like if the red's up, and you can just do this too, Len, you can do whatever you want. But like if the red is on top and I'm rallying up, I will look for times to short. I'm not really there yet. That's when I'll do best with my shorts. Having a short bias, then I do a lot better. So like you'll see them. You'll see like, oh, okay, like here we were rallying, but the red's up. So this was a much better opportunity to short the gap fills. And then if it rallies and the green's up, I don't do as well. So right now I'm in limbo where we've broken the 5. Now you could argue that this top right here, Len, like watch, but wait, there's more. So you could argue that like that 337, if you rallied up to that level, which is where the 5 is, if you don't close over that, then that might be an area that you want to look at today. So you might say to yourself, hey, hello, self, that I want to short when I'm there. That makes the most sense to me. And, kind of go from there. That's how I say it. That's really where my head is with it. I don't know what happened to that. Hold on 1 second here. Give me 1 second. What does this do? Oh, we used to have that room. I don't see it anymore. Maybe it's here. Oh, I don't think they got rid of the room. They get rid of it? Oh, there it is. I don't know why they don't show up more often. These guys love their Tesla room. Let me just keep looking here. Give me a second. So that's how I see it, Len. Hopefully that's helpful. Night, Taylor. Hood, I'm not interested in. It could easily get to 130. Affirm, I'm not really that interested in. I think you're going to play with interest rates today, and you got to just watch them. I'm just going to go through this quick. I'm going to have to jump, guys. The home builders, I think you have to watch, but I don't know that you're there. I'd watch ITB over. They have the blue tint. Like I wear these. I mean, I kind of like them. They're coffee. They don't play games here. I made this myself today. I can't show you because the camera's not working for some godforsaken reason. These internets, they're wild. This one's Freedom Roast. It's really good. I don't know. I don't know. Did you, Home Bros? I don't know, John. I don't know, Jacob. Like, I'll tell you why I don't know. Like, everyone keeps talking about this retroactive. I tried to read that law. I didn't get it. So everybody seems to be all excited about this stuff today. TAN. Use your fingers. Everybody seems giddy about this stuff today. All the solar stuff's all bidding up again. You know, it's definitely of interest. It's definitely something that I know a lot of these guys are going to play around with today, but we'll see. I'll see how that goes. We'll see how that plays out, but I don't know if I'm going to get that into it. What's up, Greg? Fannie Mae I own. I don't see any reason to do anything with it. Like, I don't see anything there. Intel, to me, I had a trade in it. That was it. Trade's busted. I'm done. I don't know. Do they do a merger? Do they get an agreement? I have no idea, man. MSTR is going to have some problems here, bro. I really like MSTR, but I got out of my position a long time ago. Well, weeks ago. Not the long-term stuff I have, but the short-term stuff I got out. Don, do you really want to play around with these names like right now? Like, software's got an issue here. NVIDIA can come in. It's having trouble with 180. Sounds like camera USB disconnection. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what the heck happened there. Something. I own PANW. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a clue yet. I'm probably going to buy puts to it. I can't get to all these. That's nice. That's nice, Amanda. Amando. Okay. All right. You're going to set me up like that? I don't touch the quantum sector. I play around with it, but that's it. Yeah, that LYSDY is something. I know a lot of people looking at this one. I don't know the difference between them, but I know a lot of people looking at this one too. I'm glad you brought it up again. But there's definitely something to that. Yeah, I don't know why I get 10 likes. It makes me sad. Well, that's just it. With the shorts, you have to be so careful. Look, man, you have to really think them through. You actually have to wait for the catalyst to short. But all right, I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today.